Hey everyone, welcome in to another daily editorial here on the KE Report. I'm getting an update from District Metals as the company just put out news yesterday regarding drilling starting at the Stollberg Property in Sweden. This project, combined with the Tomtebo project, is under an agreement with Boliden to advance both of these assets through exploration. Both of these assets are base metals projects. Tomtebo has been in District Metals for a while, and Stollberg was brought in when this agreement with Boliden was signed. I am chatting with Garrett Ainsworth, President and CEO of District Metals. District Metals is traded DMX on the TSX Venture Exchange, DMXCF on the OTCQB, and DFPP on the Frankfurt Exchange. Now, Garrett, let's just bring everybody up to speed on this agreement with Boliden as the Tomtebo and Stollberg properties were brought into a JV that was signed really not that long ago, under a year ago. Please take us through what Boliden is funding here and really what the overall exploration strategy is at Stollberg.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and Corey, great to be on. It's been a while. So it was almost a year ago exactly, I think October 30th of 2023, when we put out news that Boliden agreed to option our Tomtebo project and also bring in their Stollberg project, which I would say is more advanced even than our Tomtebo. They're both high-grade base metal polymetallic. And the terms are over 4 years. Boliden will fund $10 million Canadian. So we'll be spending $2 million in the first year. So hopefully we'll spend a bit more in the second year, but we'll get potential confirmation on that in the coming weeks. So District is the operator of all work that's being done on Tomtebo and Stollberg. And we get an operator fee of 7.5%. And, the collaboration with Boliden has just been fantastic.
Now, we have already had some news come out from exploration at the Tomtebo project. Now it's Stollberg's turn. Give us an update on this asset then. You said it's a bit more advanced than the Tomtebo project. What's some of the past work that's been done? What even have you done as a company since this partnership has been formed?
Yeah, so you've probably noticed that we haven't put out too much technical information on Stollberg. And that's because it's a Boliden project, and a lot of the technical data is being somewhat confidential from the public eye. And really, this is them collaborating with us and us being a public company, and this is a material project for us. This is really some of the first time Stollberg has put out technical information. So the Stollberg project is, it's quite large. It contains a 5 kilometer long syncline. And a syncline is just a big valley, essentially, of rocks that have been kind of folded into a valley shape. And this is the exact same kind of structure that is the host of the Garpenberg mine, which is a tier 1 base metal polymetallic operating mine for Boliden currently. And it's located about 35, maybe 40 kilometers away to the northeast from the Stollberg project. So it's going back to Stollberg. It's got a number of historic mines all along the east limb, zinc, lead, silver, and then, copper, gold feeder zones. And then also some more iron oxide rich zones, which, you find those associated with the mineralization at Boliden's Garpenberg mine. But where we're actually focused with this current drill program is at the Gränsgruvan Mine. And this is on the west limb. So you've got 2 limbs that are essentially 5 kilometers long. And Gränsgruvan was an operating mine from 1943 up until 1978. I believe Boliden operated the mine themselves from 1972 up until 1978. I would say that the Gränsgruvan mine, it's more advanced. It's got an internal mineral resource estimate. And yeah, so it shows everything that, you would look for. And that's why we're drilling it first with 2,200 meters in 5 or 6 holes. And we'll be concentrating on stepping out from the known mineralization and mine workings to try to grow this in several different directions where it remains open.
So how aggressive are these step outs going to be?
Because this is the first drill program that we've done on it, and we've already kind of looked at some historical drill core, done some whole rock geochemistry, re-logged a lot of the drill holes. We're not going to be doing massive step outs, 50 to 100 meter step outs, and to try to get a feel for the plunge and dip of mineralization so we can continue to follow it along strike and also down dip. We know that there are some cross-cutting structures that offset the overall mineralization, and those are certain areas we're going to target, because obviously those cross-cutting structures can be good areas for pore spaces to open up and make room for possible mineralization.
Okay, so this is really just starting off the exploration here. As you said, Boliden has agreed to spend $10 million over 4 years. So this drill program, I guess, is just the first of what will be many, all focused on expanding around known mineralization?
For the first, for Gränsgruvan, Stollberg property is quite large. So we'll see how these drill results are. And again, a lot of the decision on coming back to drill the Gränsgruvan mine after this program is, what does the whole rock geochemistry show us? And then also, what does the downhole electromagnetic survey show us? And we're very fortunate to be working with Boliden and get access to Boliden's in-house EM system that they've really fine-tuned around some key discoveries they made at their Garpenberg mine. But that'll really help us to make a decision for year 2, whether we come back to Gränsgruvan or if we go visit some other priority drill targets on the east limb of the Stollberg property.
Can you give us any more information on the other targets, how many there might be, when you could actually get to drilling some, I guess, newer targets on this Stollberg project?
Yeah, so on the east limb, there are just tens of historic mines and pits and underground workings. Typically, they don't go any deeper than 200 or 350 meters. There has been some drilling on the east limb. There was actually, on the east limb, there was a publicly available mineral resource estimate, which would be considered historical now. That you can find those numbers in one of our last news releases. But I believe it was just under 1 million tons, with grades that you see, very typical for the Bergslagen for zinc, lead, and silver. And we've done all the electromagnetic works being done. Soil sampling is not very effective in this area, but the magnetic detailed ground mag has been done. So yeah, we're basically using historic drilling as well, and the whole rock geochemistry that we have from that to kind of bring it all together and help decide on where we're going to drill next.
Now, you're also telling me off mic about your team that you've managed to build here that's undertaking and leading this exploration program. Please share some more of the details on your team, the importance around them.
Yeah, so I couldn't be prouder of the technical team and group that we have, together with collaboration with Boliden. I mean, first off, Hein Rat is our Vice President Exploration. He worked for Boliden for 8 years, and I believe 4 of those years he was concentrated on the Stollberg property. So he's very familiar with Stollberg. And Rodney, he worked for Boliden for 18 years. He still does consulting for them as well, I believe. And again, very familiar with the Stollberg property. And then in combination with 2 of our geologists are also PhDs that recently graduated. And then in collaboration with Boliden, they have very smart geologists that know the Bergslagen inside out. So bringing, both sides together our technical meetings are very impressive about what's being discussed.
All right. Well, when we get some more information on the especially results from this program, I'll get you back on the show to discuss those, Garrett. Look, there's a whole other aspect of District Metals that I still get a lot of emails about, and that is more on the energy metals side of things, as you've built up a number of different projects in Sweden focused around uranium, other energy metals as well. But look, a lot of questions I get are this moratorium on uranium in Sweden. We keep hearing that the government is doing different research, that we should have some announcement soon on the potential lifting of this moratorium. Any updates for me here of when we could hear something more concrete from the government?
This is a very good question, and I've actually had 2 meetings already this morning with very similar questions for District Metals. So I'm very up to speed on everything to do with the moratorium. I was actually just in Sweden for 3 weeks, from mid September up until the end of the first week of October. So we did 2 conferences there, site tour of our Viken project, some interviews with some national TV outlets or news outlets, and everyone in Sweden is talking, in the industry is talking about the moratorium and when it's going to get lifted. The general consensus that I'm hearing is that it's not if it'll get lifted, it's when will it get lifted. And so everyone's being told that the Swedish government will be putting out a press release, and it could be any week. And this press release will basically lay out the legal framework that's required in order to lift the uranium ban. This press release was thought to be out in the last week of August, but it's being delayed because the government is also looking at allowing for processing of uranium ore and potentially enrichment as well. So and also some other significant changes to the Environmental Act. So this would change the Mineral Act, the Nuclear Act, and the Environmental Act. And I'm sure, being politics, there is some horse trading going on in the background, which I have no idea what it would be about exactly, but it makes complete sense. That is what is slowing down the process somewhat. But after this press release regarding the legal framework to lift the moratorium, once this is disseminated, then that kicks off a 3-month period whereby any stakeholders can comment on the press release. And after the 3 months, then the government is free to bring a proposed bill to Parliament where it's thought that there is a majority to pass this bill to lift the uranium moratorium. And then District Metals has the green light to go full steam ahead on our Viken property. And, we look to update the preliminary economic assessment that was done in 2014 and then go full speed on our other uranium projects in Sweden as well.
All right. Well, Garrett, not much more to say. It sounds like, again, just politics. Always takes longer than people want when you're dealing with governments, especially different areas of the government, too, and something that this moratorium that has been around for a little while, as you said, probably some horse trading going on as well. When we get more updates on that, I will also follow up with you there, too. So if anyone wants to learn more about District Metals, I'll post a link in the show notes to the company's website. You can always email me any questions you have for Garrett, and I'll get those addressed for you. So again, Garrett Ainsworth, President and CEO of District Metals. Garrett, thank you for your time today.
Yeah, thank you, Corey.